Hey, what's going on, guys? Mangumson here, bringing you another Destiny 2 video. And today we're going to be talking about the return of Lorelei. Now, having Lorelei Splendor, the helmet on is quite lackluster now, but after the recent nerfs that they've had to it, from Restoration times 2 down to Restoration times 1, and with the changes to cure and how everything works, the nerfs to sunspots. It's been a big whole deal with neutering solar, but we're going to be bringing some of the forefront back to the Lorelei Splendor usage. I don't like taking it off. They came out with that new ornament, and I do like using that new ornament. Now, any super that you have here, you have the Burning Maul, and then you have the Throwing Hammers. I do enjoy the Throwing Hammers. You want to use the Rally and Barricade. It's going to have the shorter cooldown. You're going to be using the Strafe Lift and the Hammer Strike. Now, the Hammer Strike, when you hit a target, everything behind you scorches, and if that target dies, then it does get ignited. We're going to be wanting to utilize that ignition there. Now, Soul Invictus, Solar Ability, Final Blows, Hammer of Soul impacts, defeating scorched targets, create sunspots. Now, the key words that we're going to be focused on here is the scorched targets create sunspots. Now, we have a really long season here, and you're going to be wanting to use and I guess abuse the scorched targets create sunspots here, because when we combine this with the artifact and what we have going on with the artifact, Solar's in a really good place, bringing it back to some of its former glory. Now, Consecration is unique because when sliding, you activate a wave of solar energy, scorching targets, but the big thing here is when you hit a scorched target with that second wave, when you actually hammer down, if it hit a scorched target, that target will ignite. Now, you can use a different type of grenade if you want to. If you're not a big fan of the swarm grenade, I do like the shorter cooldown. I do like that it tracks the enemies, whatever. Some people want to use the healing grenade. The healing grenade only cures you, but it applies restoration to your allies, so you can go with that. Now, Ember of Solace. Ember of Solace is going to be one of our choices here, along with the Ember of Searing. Ember of Solace, radiant restoration effects applied to have increased duration. We're going to want that. Ember of Searing, defeating scorched targets, grants melee energy and fire sprite. The Ember of Mercy, when you revive an ally and other nearby allies, gain restoration. Picking up a fire sprite grants restoration. And the Ember of Empyrean, solar weapon or ability Final Blows, extend the duration of your radiant and effects applied to you. Now, you can change out Ember of Searing if you don't like it. The Ember of Searing, defeating the scorched targets, grants the melee energy. I like utilizing the melee over and over again. I like hammer striking enemies. I like getting in their face and getting into the combat. That's why I'm using Lorelei Splendor, because once I get triggered, that is going to activate, and that sunspot is going to activate on me, granting me restoration, granting me healing back, and that is uncontested damage against me. Now, it ain't the end all, beat all, ain't restoration times 2 like the Warlock can get, but it is a good amount of restoration to put you back in the fight and have a little bit more fun with the game instead of going for the most meta of builds. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is 110% back to its former glory, but you will be able to get some more fun out of Lorelei's, getting your super up, getting into the fight, doing Titan things. Now, doing Titan things, if you are an aggressive Titan and you're not really a fan of the Lorelei Splendor nerfs, then the Precious Scars is going to be more up your alley, as it's more aggressive with... When you get a kill, you get the healing, and I want to say that grants you restoration effects to you and nearby allies. You pick up the target, you get that overshield. Now, the Summoner for the Tommy's Matchbook is, you saw the Tommy's Matchbook in the gameplay. Now, the Summoner is going to be a good replacement for the Tommy's Matchbook. The Amid AR2, you can't knock the Amid AR2 precision frame. It's got an enhanced effects with enhance incandescent, applying more scorch to the targets. This overall it's a good gun to put into the kit. You can't really talk about scorch and defeating scorched targets without bringing up the Amid AR2. Now, we're gonna briefly go over this build. So we have the hands-on mod. Now, the hands-on mod grants us that super energy back when we do run into enemies, hammer them, slam down on them. We're going to want our recovery up. We want that resilience at 100, and I have the solar loader on there for if I do switch that auto rifle around. The focusing strike to grant me more class ability, energy back when hitting a target with my melee. Now, again, you can take off the Ember of Searing and put on, when you defeat scorched targets, you grant class ability, energy back. That's usually a staple in Lorelei builds, but I went with the focusing strike. Now, we have on the mod, I want to say that stacks on stacks in order to give us more armor charges. And we're not utilizing a blue armor mod here in the entirety of the build. So when we get our armor charges, they don't decay. And that's going to bring us to the end over there. You're going to see at the bottom corner, it is actually called the utility kickstart mod. So we have on that mod for the elemental charge, picking up the fire sprites. We know defeating scorched targets grants us fire sprites, grants us restoration, and potentially grants us some armor charge. And then brings up the utility kickstart. That works into the proximity ward mod and the empowered finish. Empowered finish is going to give us an armor charge, so it's not going to decay, and we're going to get an overshield when we perform that finisher, so we don't die. So we don't die with an overshield when we're doing finishers. We get an armor charge for when we do the finisher, and then we have the utility kickstart to grant us more class ability energy back. Now, combining all that with the artifact mods we got here, the kindling trigger is going to be prevalent here, the flint striker and the heart of the flame. All those are going to work in conjunction with the rays of precision, while radiant solar precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. Now we're going to want those targets to ignite because we're going to want to apply scorch to the nearby ads when we hit bigger targets, and we're going to want to spread out and make more sunspots when we do that. So we're making sunspots, we're defeating scorched targets, we're getting melee energy back, we're picking up fire sprites, which grants us grenade energy, we're getting armor charges, which gives us our ability energy back, and we can utilize our super, creating more sunspots and causing more just more Titan stuff, right? We're doing Titan things out here. We want that Titan fantasy. Burn everything to the ground and live to tell the tale, right? Unless you get hit by a lucent moth, but because lucent moths will destroy you for some reason. I don't know why. They will destroy you. Watch out for lucent moths. They are running wild out here on these hive missions. You will die to a lucent moth. I can't stress that enough. Everything else may not kill you, but that moth will get his day in court. So I hope you guys did enjoy the build. A little bit more gameplay going on in the background, but I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video, this little floating head with less editing and more me. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.